how I became a man and what it took. I'm gonna tell you a real story. Me and my dad, growing up, for me, myself, my relationship with my father has always been kind of like he's like a bro. He tries to act younger than he is, and he kind of tries to be my bro, really, my friend. And I guess you could say he is, but we always clashed heads. We always, argued, fought, disagreed, everything, with a lot of things, even when I was younger, I guess. And we are very similar. That's why we clash. And I think to the point of how I became a man personally was I had to let go, kind of get away from my dad. That was the best way I became a man myself, because your dad's always going to be there and say things that he believes is going to be the best for you, and because he loves you truly. But with my instance and my dad, I think that, and I still think it came from love, always comes from love, is that he would say things that would hurt me, really. He would not think that what I'm doing is right, and he would not think that this YouTube channel is gonna succeed, or that, what do you know, how do you know what to talk about if you've not lived long enough, or whatever. And it's like, because I learned from you, stupid motherfucker. I learned what not to do. I learned from other people. I learned from other people's mistakes. And that's one of the biggest key things that I did growing up, is I learned from other people. So he said bad things about the YouTube channel and thinks that it's, he thinks it's a joke. He thinks that I talk shit, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, these certain comments, you don't really need them, or me personally, I don't need them to grow. I don't need those types of comments to be able to better myself as a man. And I was willing to prove it. So eventually one day I stopped answering his phone calls. We used to talk every second day, and on the phone, because he lives in a different country. He lives in Australia. I live in New Zealand. And, he would call me every once in a while, quite frequently, multiple times a week, and would have talks about a bunch of nothing, really. And one day I just stopped answering. I said, you know what? I can just stop answering, and then I won't have to talk to him. So throughout that time, I was not answering his phone calls. I wasn't giving in to feeling bad or anything. And about 4 months later, it was Christmas. It was Christmas time, and he calls me on a different number. I didn't know which number it was. So then I answered it. I said, hello? And he's like, son, what are you doing? And in my head, I was like, fuck, you got me, motherfucker, you got me. And so it was something where I didn't feel sad when because he started to get emotional. And he was asking me, why did you not answer my calls? Why, what did I do to you? Type thing, And so I just told him straight up. I was like, Dad, you can be a fucking dick sometimes. You can be a cunt, And I think that I was like, you've always been telling me that you want me to be a man. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be a man. I'm gonna make my choices. I'm gonna learn from my mistakes. I'm gonna do what you told me to do. It was exactly what he wanted. And even though he was emotional and everything, I didn't cry. I didn't shed a tear. And that was the barrier and the mode where I kind of just leveled up. Me separating from my dad, separated myself from his expectations, separated myself from his doubt that he had and whatever dreams I have, separated myself from him in general, made me feel like I didn't have that weight on my shoulders anymore. And that was such a beneficial thing for me. So I'm not saying that from my story that you would have to go and not talk to your dad anymore and just disassociate yourself with him. That's not what I'm saying. It's just kind of if you need to, if you have to, at one point, one of the biggest things that you can do, if he's one of those dads that's quite old school and can negatively affect you, and you're always butting heads and fighting and shit, maybe you might have to disassociate with your dad. It's kind of hard because you think oh, that's my dad, how am I supposed to not talk to my dad anymore? He's the one that brought me in the world, blah blah blah. But I promise you, it was probably one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. I had just gotten a new job that I'm still at now, and he comes and calls me every once in a while to check on me, and I answer now. We're at a good stage now, but I think I'm just I'll do whatever I want, and I kind of just don't need his judgment, don't need his analysis on the situation, really, because he doesn't understand. He doesn't know that you can get a job out of YouTube. He doesn't know that you can, these kind of mindsets or these kind of goals that I have, he doesn't understand them. So that's okay. And one day, we could be on good talking terms and mutual respect between each other, because I would have grown myself as a man, and that's the goal. So sometimes I'm not saying that you have to not talk to your dad anymore, but I think that for me myself, doing that was a really good thing for me. And in the long run, you can always go back to your dad eventually and go and talk to him, as long as he's one of those dads that is gonna accept that kind of thing, and always kind of unconditionally love you, which I'm grateful my dad is that way. So I hope this video helps you in any way possible. My own experience with my dad might be different from yours, but then it maybe can give you an understanding of, someone else is thinking the same way that you are. I appreciate you. I believe in you, and I'll see you in the next one.